My video for April the 14th, 2020 is number 3425. The title is Sincere Ignorance and Conscientious Stupidity. This quotation by Martin Luther King was on my desk for a good while. I found it while cleaning out some old papers. He said, quote, "Nothing in the world is more dangerous than ... End quote. Yes, the title of this video. It goes without saying that an un or undereducated people are prone to deception. Perhaps everyone on this planet of the lie have been purposely uneducated, even those with college degrees. How could we even think we are informed when so much that needs an explanation is simply ignored or explained by some mystical accident of spontaneous evolution that leads to a myriad of living species, from the very small microscopic organisms to the very stars and planets we have discovered? Of course, discovery is merely uncovering what was there all along that required tools to find and explore. IQ does not answer the big questions, and perhaps cannot. God is often credited with our existence. In the beginning, God. Many, like me, are conscientious, even diligent in our quest for meaning and purpose. I do not think we are the product of some accident, but I question most of what I have been taught. I do not want to be ignorant or stupid, but do I have a choice? Do any of us? Yeah, I tore off the top part of the page that had that quote, and I thought, I don't think I made a video on that, so I'm going to go ahead and plan that, and it's been sitting there for the last few days anyway. And I'm hoping to actually record a video maybe later today with Steve, my magician friend, as I mentioned in the last video. But it will go up for the following day, for the 15th. Tax day, which is no longer tax day, that's been pushed ahead. And I'm still scratching my head as to what's going on for real on this planet. I still am not convinced that Donald Trump is going to bring any positive change for us, even though I have friends that think so. And I mean, I remember at one point about Martin Luther King that some of my friends at the time were saying it's Martin Lucifer King, because they saw him as some evil person. And I don't know. He's a human being. He's no doubt made mistakes when he was alive, and we all have. And we're all ignorant of things that we do not know, and sometimes willfully ignorant of things that we don't want to know. We don't want to know that there is a God that made us. And if a God or a creature of some sort or a being of some sort made us, for what purpose were we made? You know, these are questions that we have to ask, aren't they? I would think that intelligent people would query these things. And as I said in the blurb, and as I've said in other videos, evolution just does not make sense. There is no missing links. There are similarities between species, but there are very big dissimilarities as well. And it cannot easily be explained as some accident of chance. But yet, intelligent people, or people that claim intelligence and have high IQs, still embrace ideas of evolution as the explanation for our existence. That doesn't land with me, and it doesn't land with a lot of people. And people will say, well, it's the ignorant people that believe in God. And I think we're all ignorant of what God is. I mean, I used to think that God was the one that was talked about in Genesis and and in the Bible. I was raised that way. I've also explored some of the other sacred scriptures, not in the detail that I did with the Bible, of course, but I've looked at many things, and I've gone into all of the major world religions, and even some of the non-theistic uh, concepts and native concepts, and I've tried to find answers that would provide me with meaning. And the meaning for my life still to this day is I'm here to help bring the kingdom of heaven to earth, whatever that means. I'm not even sure I know what that means anymore. The one core thing is that it means that truth and love are values that are essential, absolutely essential, if we are to experience peace on earth, if we are to experience a rational meaning for our lives and our existence. We have to answer the so-called unanswerable questions. Unanswerable by who? Those that want to push an agenda where they are in charge? Well, I look at the ones that are in charge, like Trump and other presidents of the US and other leaders around the world, and I don't see intelligent solutions being put forward. I just don't see it. It's all about brainwashing and keeping us dumbed down, not increasing. Our schools are vastly different today in 2020 than they were when I was growing up and in school. There was still a little bit more freedom of thought and freedom to explore alternative ideas when I was in school than there are now. It seems that the clamps are being tightened, and there are more restrictions being placed on all of us. And now we have the most insane restriction of all, that we're not allowed to go out in public in any meetings where there's a numbers of people. Now, I understand some people's explanation, or at least I've heard it, but none of it makes sense to me. None of it does. It's a planet of insanity and a planet of ignorant stupidity. No matter how conscientious we are, we can't change anything. At least it doesn't seem. No. People say, Ron, it's up to us. It's up to us. Well, if it's up to us, we lose. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep saying that, because I do not see a solution from within the realm of humanity. Humanity is probably the most ignorant and stupid creature that exists. The other creatures know what they are. We think, therefore we don't know. That's a contradiction, isn't it? Or a paradox at the very least. Well, I want to find answers. I want meaning for my life. And I'd like to believe that the world is moving toward heaven on earth, but I don't see evidence of it. And when people question whether even some of the arrest of the cabal is taking place and rescuing the children, as I've talked about, when people say those things, it makes me hope a little bit that maybe we are going into some real change. But then I get people saying, but those tents aren't there that you've talked about. What is true? What is true? Will we ever be able to know the truth that will set us free? That's been my lifelong quest. Thank you for listening, and namaste.